Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Thursday, April 25th. We'll have more on the Pennsylvania primary election results, as well as updates on a Penn State commencement date change.
We'll also have updates on protests happening at college campuses across the country, along with entertainment, sports, and interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emma Goldkopf.
And I'm Nolan Collery. Tuesday was primary election day in Pennsylvania, and the results are in for the Commonwealth. The Democratic ticket will include Joe Biden for president, Bob Casey Jr. for senator, Eugene DePasquale for attorney general, Aaron McClellan for treasurer, and Malcolm Kenyatta for auditor general. Running for nomination against the Democrats on the Republican ticket will be Donald Trump for president, Dave McCormick for senator, Dave Sunday for attorney general, Stacey Garrity for treasurer, and Tim DeFore for auditor general.
A Penn State release says the fall 2024 commencement date at University Park has been shifted. It will now take place on December 22nd and will celebrate over 3,500 students. The date shift was made due to a possible conflict with the 2024 college football playoffs. Due to recent changes in the playoff structure, there is a chance the Nittany Lions will host a playoff game. Though the Penn State release did not specifically name football as the conflict, the university wants to make sure everyone attending the events has a smoother experience.
The U.S. News and World Report recently released its 2024 to 2025 Best Graduate School rankings, and some Penn State programs were represented on the list. The education program came in at 46th in the nation, and the law school came in at 75th. Both the nursing and business postgraduate programs did not make the rankings. Penn State spokesperson Wyatt DuBois explained that since the Smeal business program transitioned from a 2-year MBA program to a 1-year MBA program in 2022, it does not participate in the rankings.
The Center Area Transfer Authority announced that some of its bus routes will be affected during construction on Curtin Road. Curtin Road will be closed between Commuter Drive and Porter Road from April 21st until April 29th. Both the Blue Loop and Red Link will be affected, and certain stops will be redirected to the Bryce Jordan Center stop. Rider and service alerts can be found on CATA's website. As students prepare for Moving On and Luke Combs this weekend, what weather can they expect outside? Filippo from Micah with Campus Weather Service has more. Take a look.
From the students of the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, PSN. I'm student meteorologist Filippo Formica here with your Wednesday evening forecast. Taking a look across the Commonwealth right now, you can see in Harrisburg, mostly blue on the camera here, but as you get further to the north and west, more cloud cover presumes as some peaks of blue here at Beaver Stadium. Pittsburgh, you are now pretty much overcast, and Erie, very overcast there. Taking a look at our current conditions, you can see that playing out with that cloud cover in the northern tier of the state. Some mostly cloudy conditions toward the center and southern regions, even some showers in Allentown. And you can see this on our radar as well. Some spotty showers still moving through, but overall, especially in the northwestern portion of the state, those thick clouds starting to drive their way in. You can also tell with our streamlines here that we're starting to see a more northerly flow, and that's going to be dropping our temperatures here as the day goes on. And we look out to the west, we see some clearing as well. This is going to help out with a potential freeze this evening, where we have freeze warnings in effect for I-80 and north, even some areas just south of I-80 as well, and some freeze watches. Even Harrisburg, you were included in that, and right starting to creep closer to Pittsburgh. So we're going to be looking at very chilly temperatures compared to the averages this time of the year. 30 degrees your low in Bradford tonight, 33 in Scranton, 33 as well here in State College. As you get south of I-80, things warm up just a tad, but only Pittsburgh and Erie get above 40 degrees for your lows tonight. Definitely a chilly one, and going into tomorrow morning, might want to pack an extra layer or two. As we move into tomorrow, though, things will rebound real quick. Starting off very cold, going to be getting right back to around average with low to mid 60s across much of the Commonwealth. Pittsburgh, the lone exception, in the low 70s. And looking ahead at the 7-day forecast, 70s are going to be coming to State College as well. Even 81 possible on Monday with some mostly sunny conditions, maybe even some thunderstorms on Sunday, ushering in this warmer spell of weather. But we do have to get through some chillier nights first before we can get into some nice summer-like warm. So something to look forward to, but we do have to deal with this unsettled pattern and those chilly conditions first.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Gianna Giroll with your sports update. Penn State's track and field team is off to the races in Philadelphia for the 128th Penn Relays at historic Franklin Field, looking to continue their hot streak. As they enter the meet, the Nittany Lions are coming off multiple PRs and top 10 program marks after last week's Virginia Challenge. They also have a total of 38 relay championships in the history of Penn Relays. Two of these include College Women's 4x800 meter Championship of America races, setting a school record in the event in both 2022 and 2023. The meet is taking place until this Saturday, April 27th. Penn State football defensive end Abdul Carter is facing a misdemeanor assault charge after a confrontation with a tow truck driver in March. The 20-year-old is accused of pulling the tow truck driver from his truck and throwing him to the ground. The alleged assault occurred just after midnight on Saturday, March 16th, when the Half Moon Valley towing employee saw that Carter's car was parked without registration and attempted to tow the vehicle. Carter was charged with a second-degree misdemeanor count of simple assault and a summary count of harassment. The victim suffered a non-displaced fracture line to a rib. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 22nd. Former USC football star Reggie Bush will again be known as a Heisman Trophy winner, college football's most prestigious honor. The Heisman Trust announced the formal reinstatement of the 2005 trophy on Wednesday after Bush forfeited it back in 2010. Bush decided to forfeit the iconic trophy after allegations that his family had received benefits from an agent while he was still a student athlete at USC. These NCAA sanctions prompted Bush to give up the award, but the decision to reinstate the trophy came as Heisman officials claimed it was difficult to maintain these sanctions when current student athletes are profiting from their name and likeness. Beginning in the 2024 season, Bush will again be invited to all future Heisman Trophy ceremonies. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Courtney Green has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Courtney Green with your entertainment update. The Penn State Television Network had their second annual awards ceremony last night at the State Theater in downtown State College. The event was hosted by Brendan Conroy and Derek Stilley. It honored 7 PSN TV shows. PSN News took home the award for Best Show. There was also a blue carpet interview with attendees hosted by myself and Marina Contreras. The ceremony was even live streamed on PSN TV's YouTube channel for fans at home. In other Penn State news, our Lily Perogla is live in studio now with more details on a fun event that happened last weekend. Lily?
Thanks, Courtney. Last week I had the opportunity to attend comedian Hayden Crystal's show at the Hub Robinson Center. Hayden is well known for their comedy jokes, advocacy, and social justice work. Let's take a look.
If you will. She's chill, she's cool.
Queer activist and deaf stand-up comedian Hayden Crystal performed on Wednesday at the Hub Robinson Center. Crystal was a semi-finalist on America's Got Talent and explores gender and disability issues.
This is one of our many programs as part of Penn State Pride Month that we celebrate in April every year. And so one of the things that we are always trying to highlight in our work is intersectionality. So acknowledging, folks who hold various marginalized identities and experiences within the LGBTQ community and uplifting those. And so Hayden was a great example of someone who does that work. And they talked earlier in their workshop today about intersectional accessibility. And so, just kind of someone to really highlight and represent the challenges and also joys that come with being part of the queer community and also part of the deaf community. And what does that look like?
Crystal has been all over the country sharing their jokes to the world and has received many accolades. Students and faculty were excited for someone like Hayden to perform in front of them. Their quick wit and cheerful personality made the performance extra special.
The Hayden is kind of just planting that seed for us as a community to now figure out how are we taking care of that identity, all of the other people, other communities that can come together and see where they can relate and be a part of that community. Maybe some people aren't even aware of sign language comedians, so they can kind of learn and pass that along. So it's our responsibility to help students feel either a sense of identity or related to the community, because without that we wouldn't be able to learn from each other.
For PSN News, I'm Lily Pergola.
Students and faculty were ecstatic that Hayden came to perform. Their quick wit and funny jokes stole the show. Back to you, Courtney.
Thanks, Lily. Country singer Luke Combs will be bringing his Growing Up and Getting Old tour to Beaver Stadium this Saturday, April 27th. The Grammy Award winner is joined by opening acts Jordan Davis and Mitchell Tenpenny. The doors will open at 5:45 and tailgate lots are set to open at noon. Although the weather isn't looking too sunny, a lot of students are looking to set up their spots in the lots like a football game. Coachella was this past weekend, bringing in artists, fans, brands, and influencers from across the country to California desert. The lineup this year was one of the best yet, as Coachella brought in over 200,000 people in the past 2 weekends. The show was streamed on YouTube for a price of $5. The artists in attendance included Lana Del Rey, Tyler the Creator, Doja Cat, and No Doubt. My favorite part of the weekend was when Dom Dollar dropped his new song Girls and brought John Summit and Tove Lo out to perform with him. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Jezania Morera will be speaking with Emily Edwards, the executive producer of PSN News. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jezania Morera alongside my dear friend Emily Edwards, the PSN News executive producer. Emily, I can't thank you enough for coming in today. I'm so excited to chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. So last night at the PSN TV Awards, PSN News won Best Show overall. How did that feel for you to just accept that award, especially as the executive producer of the show?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, PSN News was so deserving of it. We've been around in this network as the longest standing show, so that's been really cool. And honestly, I was just so honored to be able to be the one to go accept it. PSN News has been a huge part of my entire college career, so it was just awesome. All the hard work that we've done over the past couple years, and honestly since we started, it was nice just to see it get recognized, and it just shows that clearly we're heading in the right direction, doing the right things, and we have a good crew behind us.
So where did your love for production and producing come from?
Yeah. So my high school, lucky enough, had a 4-year-long media department. So I was able to kind of test the waters there. And I was lucky enough to just get into that program starting as a freshman so I could see all the different aspects of it. And I always just had so much fun. Like when I was in those classes, working on different projects, productions, scripts, all that. So I kind of knew that I wanted to take it into college once I was able to experience so much of it early on. And I knew I wanted to come to Penn State, and Penn State clearly has such a great production department, so it kind of all just made so much sense. And I just found PSN News and PSN TV, Sports Night, everything here, and I got lucky.
So being on the two different shows, how do you differentiate them and just make it your own in a way?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was interesting. When I came here my freshman year, all of this studio was still at Innovation Park, so it was definitely a lot different. I joined Sports Night first because I knew I wanted a career somewhat in the sports industry, so I kind of saw the different commentary side of it. There's more analysis on sports and less, script, and it's just a whole different vibe. So I got to see that first. And then when I was introduced to PSN News, I kind of saw the structure behind it, and it was hard-hitting news, and I like the local aspect as well as bringing some national things into it as well. So when it comes to differentiating it, they really are just so different, but it's awesome to have a lot of the same crew and talent and friends that work behind the scenes and even on air on it. So that's been really fun for me to kind of transition, on Monday nights and Wednesdays to come in here, news, we have everything in such a good order, and we just fly through everything, get through it really well, and then, come into sports night, and it's like a whole new world comes in here, but at the same time, there's such great overlap that make the two shows really great.
Definitely. So you mentioned sports, and I know that you're a Penn State football operations intern. Yes. What's that role like, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah. So I was so lucky to get into that program. I started as a recruiting intern the beginning of my junior year and kind of worked my way into this operations position. And just seeing the other side of, our incredible program that we have at Penn State, I mean, it's respected across the country, across the world by so many people. So I was so lucky to get to that other side to see day in, day out what goes into making, the program what it is. So as an operations intern, I kind of got to work with a lot of logistics of how, the team runs, the team travels, the team eats, that type of stuff. I got to work on some media projects as well. And my boss, Destiny Rodriguez, was incredible getting to show me all the different facets of her job as well as the entire industry she gets to work with. So it was an awesome experience, and it really changed the course of my career.
So many people watch Penn State football, and the fact that you have a say in what's going on is incredible. What was your first time working a game like?
So my first time working a game as recruiting, I was up in the recruiting lounge, and I didn't really know what to expect. You knew so much, from just my boss and everyone I was talking to. But just seeing, these prospects come in, and it was just, a whole, it was the future of the program you saw kind of coming in. And that was really awesome to see. And then this year, as I got into the operations role, I actually got to spend my games from the sideline. And that was just the first moment I was down there, and, warm-ups, everything, the starting lineup was playing, and, kickoff happened. I got emotional because it's so cool. You get chills. You're in one of the biggest stadiums in college football in the entire world, and you just, everyone you work with is right there with you, and then all of my friends and other students are right there above me. So it's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
That's really incredible. So you wear all these different hats as producer for Sports Night, news, recruiting, or operations. How have you managed just being a college student and having such a great plan under your belt?
Yeah, it's definitely been difficult. There's times where I haven't, done a great job of it, but I think kind of through trial and error and, making sure I take the time to realize what is going to be important, later in life, whether it's relationships and career opportunities, but at the same time, focusing on myself and, trying to still be a kid at this point. I know we're adults at this point, but we're still just college students. So, getting to spend time with my friends outside the Willard building, but also working towards the goal I've had for my career and my education. So it's been definitely a little troubling at times, but I think these last 2 years especially, I got a good balance in.
I hate to remind you, but graduation is coming soon.
I can't hear
and
it.
You're a senior, and you mean so much to so many people in this college and just at this school, I would only imagine. What's next for you, Emily? I'm sure so many people want to know.
Yeah, so this summer I am so excited and lucky enough to be working at NFL Films in Mount Laurel. I have wanted that for so long. I got to tour their facility in high school, and that kind of put me on my path of sports production. I was like, I want to end up here. This is something that is just so amazing to me. So I was lucky enough to get a position as their interview coordination intern for the summer. And yeah, I'm so excited to see what that has in store.
Absolutely. Emily, I can't thank you enough for just doing this with me today and sharing the world a little bit more about Emily Edwards.
Thank you so much.
Now stick around, because next up we have Nolan and Emma having the latest news from across the nation.
Police officers arrested protesters at Yale University on Monday morning who were supporting Palestine in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. This was the third straight day protesters had been in encampments at Beneke Plaza. In total, police arrested 47 students who were taken to Yale police facilities and charged with first-degree trespassing. New Haven police noted that they would not arrest any nonviolent protesters at the demonstration.
Columbia University canceled in-person classes this week after more than 100 pro-Palestinian demonstrators camped out and were arrested last week. The university announced that classes at its Morningside Heights campus will be held remotely for the remainder of the spring 2024 semester. Columbia's president is now under fire for not doing enough to fight anti-Semitism. 2 other Ivy League presidents have already resigned after facing similar criticism.
A bill that would allow parents to pay for their children's criminal offenses is headed to Tennessee Governor Bill Lee's desk for approval. The bill, dubbed the Parental Accountability Act, would allow judges the choice to order parents to pay restitution for law enforcement expenses for responding to and investigating their child's criminal offenses. Supporters of the bill suggest that this would help keep parents accountable for their child's actions, whereas those opposed point out that this bill may unfairly target parents who are working and cannot afford to pay said fines.
Minnesota Senator Nicole Mitchell is under arrest for suspicion of burglary. A 911 call was received around 5 a.m. from a homeowner reporting an act of burglary at her residence. Officers searched the home and arrested Mitchell. Her stepmother, who lives on the same block of the arrest, declined to comment. Mitchell's absence in the Senate, where Democrats hold a 1-seat majority, will make it difficult to pass any legislation. She's being held at Becker County Jail while an investigation continues. It is unclear whether or not she has an attorney who can comment on her behalf. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.